Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Columbia. Our minister is Reverend Stephen Robinson, and my name is Pat Moore, and I'll be your service leader for today. To those of you who are here with us in the sanctuary, please be advised this service is being streamed on YouTube, and it's also on the website where you can find a Zoom event to get it. We would still, of course, rather have you here in the sanctuary with us, so please join us next Sunday if you can. Please make sure that you read the announcements in your order of service, by the way, because be sure to read the weekly events, too, that are emailed to you every Thursday, and they're also on the website. I urge you to keep the website open on your internet browser, too, so you can keep up with what's happening. If you're like me, you can never find it, whatever you were looking at before. Also, please practice COVID restrictions that were approved by the Board of Trustees. The current guidelines are that wearing a mask is recommended now, and that's because of the current uptick in cases. When we're up here, we'll take it off, but we recommend that everybody else use a mask. You need to be very cautious right now. Richland's among the highest counties in South Carolina for COVID. Okay. I do have another announcement too here, and this is for parents. If you need to occupy your children while they're here, we do have toys and books in the back of the social hall. We just wanted you to know that. And also, we have one extra announcement, I think, from Nancy.
Thank you, Pat. Hi there, folks. We welcome you all today. I'd like to start this magnificent day with the question of what brought you through the doors? What brought you through these doors? Think for just a moment. I'm just going to list a couple that might resonate with you. Perhaps you were looking for a spiritual or a social community in which to grow. Maybe you were looking for something for your children or yourself in terms of religious exploration, with that freedom to ask critical questions or, in fact, ask questions. Questions are encouraged. We welcome free thinkers. We want to develop to be free thinkers, and our little people, the same thing. Perhaps you walk through those doors to make a difference. To cause a little trouble? Good trouble? Yeah, I can relate to that most certainly. If I may, if you are a chair or a co-chair of a committee or a group, could you please stand? These are the folks you're going to be looking for later on in our various designated areas of our building later on after the potluck today. They'll be down the CYRE hall, out in the library, even meeting in the sanctuary area. Thank you so much. Please take a seat. So we want to encourage you to check out those committees or those groups to learn how this plant-based sausage is made. Most certainly we want to make sure that you all feel welcome. You're always most welcome to join us. If by chance you had forgotten that there is a potluck or you're just not much of a cook, feel free to make a little donation, a donation basket. That would be great. If you are a member of Connie's crew and Linda McLeod, if you could all stand for just a moment, we need to give them a great big applause. Please stand. Connie's crew, that kitchen committee, and Linda, thank you, thank you, thank you. They may be still back working. They do a lot of work, and they make sure everything is covered. They're here early, stay late, plan it all out. They're always looking for members, most certainly, too. And indeed, a special thank you to Linda, who adds her expertise most certainly through all these years. Little housekeeping as to what we'll need to do after the service, all right? Generally, after we're done eating, we'll need to scrape off our plates, anything organic material. If you could look for the green bucket back there, it's on one of the tables back by the windows. We encourage you to please leave your dishes and your cups in one of the bigger tubs. The utensils go in the smaller tub. In general, if we could stay out of the kitchen, that's going to help our kitchen crew. And we do encourage you, please, not to take food back to the back areas because it has a way of staying there and we don't want bugs. And we want to get done, make sure all the dishes are clean. So make sure to get all dishes and whatnot. Please make sure they stay in this vicinity. Okay, you'll notice that I'll ring a bell shortly before we need to start moving to our different designated areas. So just realize that, okay, it's time to get going. We just really want to get moving with our areas. Your designated areas are in the order of service today, so feel free to check those out. One I put down as personnel is actually going to meet in the nursery area back there, and that's on the maps that I can provide you folks. We do have a couple of people who are designated as our ambassadors to help you out to find your way should you need to look for that. So the Gillespies, if they're, I don't see them out here, but they're going to be, oh, there you are. Hey, Bob. If you could stand up, and Jane, if she's right by there, Linda McLeod, and Bonnie, where are you? Bonnie, there you are. Great. So these fine folks are here to help you, and most certainly anybody else who would guide you as well. So with that, without further ado, we again want to say, come wherever you are and find your niche among us.
Thank you, Nancy. We'll have to hunt for our niche. If you'll look at these beautiful flowers up here, I want you to know that these flowers were donated, provided by Annette Flavel, and they're in memory of her Aunt Therese O'Connell, who died of complications related to MS on January 26th in 2016. She said this colorful bouquet represents Terry's caring and her joyful personality. Thank you, Annette. And now, if you will please silence all your electronic devices as we center ourselves for today's service. And will you now stand with me and let's do the confirmation, the congregational confirmation.
I invite you first to join me in singing our opening hymn.
Oh.
Number 360. It's located in your gray hymnals, but if you could still please follow the instruction to stand as you're willing and able.
She has
We're
a
starting
better
a little
script than I
differently
do.
as we gather together today. Let's sing together. This is number 360. Here we have gathered.
Thank you. Now, if you'll remain standing and let's do the congregational confirmation. Thank you. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The presbytery is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve others in community. Thus do we covenant with one another. I'm so glad we have a musician who can read better than I can. Again, welcome. Unitarian Universalism is a diverse and non-creedal religion. We're a covenantal religion, which means that we don't have to believe the same in order to treat each other the same, with respect, equity, compassion, and dignity. Our community is based on deeds, not creeds. As Unitarian Universalists, we side with love, embracing all people, regardless of age, color, race, socioeconomic status, physical ability, or religious background, or lack thereof. We've been officially designated by the Unitarian Universalist Association as a welcoming congregation that welcomes LGBTQ plus individuals. We also especially invite families with young children. And incidentally, if you have young children, you're very welcome in our services, and you'll find someone in the back that's willing to help you if you need it. Thanks for bringing your kids today. We encourage everyone to wear name tags so we may know each other better. And board members wear green name tags, and they always welcome your comments and questions and suggestions. Would the members of the Board of Trustees please stand so you can be recognized? That's your board. At this time, we'd also like to recognize any guests or visitors who are with us today. So visitors, if you're willing and able, please rise and share your name and where you're from, or if you have guests with you, feel free to introduce them. And Emilio is going to bring around the microphone. Do we have any visitors today?
Hi, I'm Mary Battle, and I just moved to Columbia a couple months ago after a long hiatus, 20 years, I guess. And I'm with my friend Renee and her daughter, Virginia.
Hi, I'm Renee Saunders. Mary and I moved about the same time back here. And yeah, this is Virginia. You want to say hi?
Thank you for having us.
Welcome.
Good morning. My name is Melody Smith. Some of you might recognize my face without a mask. Nancy, hi. Linda, hi. I attended for several months a few years ago and loved the congregation. It was one of the reasons that I had decided to move to Columbia from Idaho. And so I'm here. I am settled in, and I'll be a regular attendee again. So good morning.
Oh, great. All right.
Any more? That's it.
Okay, I think that's it. And visitors, if you will, be sure and fill out a visitor's card and put it in the collection plate. There should be one in the chair in front of you. And don't worry, nobody's going to be knocking on your door. This is just so we can send you information digitally. Oh, okay, now, remembering our masking and distancing preferences, let's take just a minute to stand and talk to each other. We'll talk about that. Thank you. It's so hard to get Unitarian universities to stop talking. I think that's the reason I am one. Okay, I want to introduce to you now our chalice lighter for the day. Our chalice lighter today is Clara Peroni, and I hope I didn't butcher your name too much. Clara is a recently graduated college student who moved here in January from Los Angeles, California, to do 6 months of service with AmeriCorps as a teaching assistant with a program called City Year. She works for them at Sand Hills Elementary out in Swansea. And she wants you to know that she grew up in a UU church back in LA that served as a wonderfully loving community that nurtured not only her love for music and learning, but also encouraged a social justice forward way of thinking that she now feels is very important to her identity. She's excited to be on this new adventure and to have found such a welcoming community here at the UUCC. Spirit of light and life, come unto us.
And we now invite the UUCC Adult Choir forward to sing Ask Me to Sing by Sally Elbrecht and Jay Elthouse. You're probably not going to want to.
I will sing for you. for our opening words today. They come from the Reverend Ashley Horan, who is the Organizing Strategy Director at the UUA. She writes, "You are loved beyond belief. You are enough. You are precious. Your work and your life matter, and you are not alone. You are part of a great cloud of witnesses, living and dead, who have insisted that this beautiful, broken world of ours is a blessing worthy of both deep gratitude and fierce protection. Our ancestors and our descendants are beckoning us, compelling us onward toward greater connection, greater compassion, greater commitment to one another and to the earth. Together, we are a resilient and resourceful group, resourceful enough to say yes to the call, to make it our life's work in 1,000 different ways, knowing that we can do no other than bind ourselves more tightly together and throw ourselves into the holy work of showing up again and again, to be part of building that world of which we dream, but which we have not yet seen." This morning, for our story for all ages, we'll just let the kids stay where they are, if they're in the back or sitting with their parents. But since it's a story for all ages, we'll open it up to everyone here, because I know the adults like to guess too as well. So I found a poem that was written by my oldest daughter when she was in 3rd grade, and it's a poem about a person named John Chapman. And I was just wondering if anybody knows who John Chapman is. Would anybody like to answer? Johnny Appleseed. Mark gets the gold star, so make sure from the membership committee that the gold star is handed out to Mark afterwards. So Johnny Appleseed is the person that we know best for planting apple trees all across the Midwest, going from place to place, planting little seedlings that were about 8 inches high into the ground, and really introducing apples to that area all the way down into the West Virginia area as well. Ohio, Pennsylvania, all of those areas know him well, and he is a hero. And for us to think about what we are doing here, obviously someone like that makes a difference in the lives of so many people and in the agricultural landscape going forward in the future. Now, we may not go about planting apple trees, but we can plant seeds all the time in the work that we do and the love that we do. And so, as the choir said, ask me to sing. What is it that something inside you is asking you to do? Not so much the congregation, the UUCC, what are we asking of you, but what is that voice inside of you asking you to do? And will you be willing to contribute that? That's what today is all about, figuring out where you fit in and where you can pour yourself into this good work of the UUCC. So we celebrate people like Johnny Appleseed and all the other tree planters that are here among us this morning. This time we move into our service where we light candles of community, both for those people who we are grieving and holding in concern this morning, but also for any celebrations and joys that we share. I invite you, if you have a candle, there are always 7 in the foyer that are available to you. If you have a candle and would like to briefly share your joy or concern, please come down to this microphone and do that and place your candle here.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. We're Bud and Chuck, your resident hippies. We have a candle today of grave concern. We are appalled and upset and in disbelief that another young American has lost his life to a gang of police. So this candle this morning is for Tyree Nichols.
Just like there's power if you can get enough names on a petition to bring about a change, I believe that there is power if enough people speak out loud someone's name. You usually see me and Bud with a sticker on our chest with the name of a really groovy song, and we give it to someone while we're here to remind you of that really groovy song. Today I have the name of Tyree Nichols on my chest, and I would like to invite everyone here today to join me in speaking out loud in one voice. Are you ready? Tyree Nichols.
Thank you.
This morning, I also have a candle of concern. I have a great niece who's 17, and on January 16th, she went into the hospital because she had an extended abdomen. They took 5.7 liters out of her abdomen area. She's been there now 14 days. They've done 2 surgeries, every single test possible, and they have not identified what is wrong with her. So please hold her. Her name is Ellie.
Good morning, I'm Bethany. And Clara, when you came up to light the candle, you just made my heart sing, because my daughter, who's about your age, is now in San Francisco. And one time recently, she was watching the service, but she's not watching the service today. She is attending a UUCC in San Francisco. And I just thank our community for raising our kids and making them feel connected, that when they walk through new doors, that they feel like they're at home.
This is also a candle for Tyree Nichols. Last night, as I was watching the sunset, I was thinking about how much he loved sunsets, and that'll be a thought I'll hold forever. So thank you for yours.
Most of you know me because I'm your music director, Anna, but a lot of you haven't met my partner. This is Lindbergh, and we met this past fall, and I'm glad to say that it's been such a wonderful surprise to meet someone who is so special and brilliant and creative, so sensitive and so caring. And we're here together to share a joy with you that coming this July, we're expecting a baby.
Hi, I'm Patty Drews, and yesterday I had the honor of doing a presentation on demystifying veganism. I had 27 people come, and I just want to thank them so much for giving up their Saturday morning on a really cold morning and coming and allowing me to talk and tell them all about it. And they were amazing. They were amazing. They accepted and they listened. And I think some of them are going to try. I really do. And that means so much. Thank y'all.
Morning, my name is Mark, and it was delightful. And again, In continuation of the Joys of Concern, on August 20th, the board met and identified what goals they truly wanted to go ahead and employ during this year. And a couple of them were, how do we strengthen our camaraderie and our support for one another? How do we increase the involvement of every member of this organization and their friends to be a part of this congregation in some way? We also wanted to push and emphasize the importance of coming together and expressing gratitude to one another more frequently. But this service is so special because it revolves around volunteerism. Clara, thank you for your service as a member of City Year. City Year came to Columbia in 1994, and we currently have 24 young people, a lot like Clara, who are serving over 1,500 kids in the Midlands. It is a phenomenal organization that is truly about service and how connected that is to us. As a quick plug, on February 8th, they will be having their fundraiser at USC's Alumni House. If you're interested and you want to go ahead and support Clara and the other 23 members, please let me know and we'll make it happen. So this is for service and support and the love that we have for one another. Oh, and again, congratulations.
Our last candle that we always light represents the silent concerns and joys that we're holding close this morning. I invite you to take a deep breath, breathe in everything that you've heard, all the concerns that were raised, the joys that were shared, and breathe out your love, your positive energy in those directions. Thank you. This morning, as we prepare for our offering, the Share the Plate recipient for the month of January, as we are wrapping up this month of January, is the Minister's Discretionary Fund. And the quick plug that I will give for that is just to say that there's a lot of things that the UUCC can do, and usually they require a lot of conversation and a lot of people collaborating, which can take a lot of time. And one of the great things about the Minister's Discretionary Fund is the immediacy. When there is a need, I can respond immediately to that need and do so often throughout the year. So I obviously can't mention the names of those protecting privacy that we have helped, but I will say that every person that we help is grateful to you for making sure that those funds are available. So thank you for that. This time, we invite our ushers to come forward and receive our offering.
Our offertory music is Meditation by Antonio Carlos Jobim, arranged by Brent Eldstrom.
received the offering this morning, symbol of our commitment to the good work. I have to say, one of the most intimidating things about my job of getting up and providing a sermon is that I have to follow the music of my colleague and friend and the brilliant way that she brings all of that to this congregation. And now she's found a way to up her game and add even more joy and excitement. I heard someone say, "How will you follow that?" I won't. But congratulations to you both. We are so excited for you. Today is, as you have heard from several folks, focus on our work here at the UUCC and opportunities for you to learn more about the various committees that are involved in the congregation here and the work that we do, and figuring out a place where you can find your niche in this congregation. And I was thinking about, if you're visiting here today, then what a great day to stick around and both eat lunch, but also learn about various places and ways that we do our work, both in this congregation and in the community. So we're looking forward to, just as soon as the service ends, which basically as soon as I stop talking, we can actually get to lunch and we can get to the work of learning about these committees. Some of them are, as Nancy said, out in the fellowship area. Some of them are in my office, 2 of them. Some of them are out in the RE wing. So look forward to finding a place where you can do your work. And I have this ability from the membership committee that I can make this offer, and this offer is really today only, so tomorrow it expires, that if you sign up for 2 committees, we will put you on a 3rd one for free. So. All right. That's what you have to do when you're a congregation our size and you have 87 committees, you have to serve on more than one. I learned about the president and CEO of the San Antonio Food Bank through a TED Talk, and I've got to know Eric Cooper a little bit through his work there. And his dual strategies of both feeding the line and shortening the line at food banks has caused him to receive national recognition. He takes a holistic approach to serve the entire community. He's worked on efficient ways of serving food, but also ways of taking surplus food and keeping it from going to waste. He brings people around the table as an advocate for social justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion. In his TED Talk that he gave, he talks about the work of volunteering and what it can contribute to our lives. And I'd love to share just a few minutes of what he shared in his 8 minutes of talking. It'll probably take me like 10 minutes to share what he shared in 8 minutes. The staggering numbers that he gave, which is amazing to hear as Mark shared the numbers just locally from one agency here in Columbia. But in the United States, in a typical year, over 60 million Americans devote hours to volunteering, and they devote over 8 billion hours in that work, which economically, if you figure that out in dollars, it's about $175 billion of economic impact, just simply through volunteering. Those who give support in volunteering have greater health benefits than those who are receiving services often from volunteers. Eric Cooper highlights the benefits, the health benefits of volunteering, and a great deal of research has been shown over the past few years that physical and mental health improve greatly from volunteering. Adults who volunteer experience a 20% drop in their mortality. Researchers at Carnegie Mellon have found a direct correlation between volunteering time and energy and lower blood pressure. That's actually a little bit different here at the UUCC because researchers have found that volunteering at the UUCC actually contributes to higher blood pressure. But we counter that with the vegan diet. So. One thing we found, therapists in the therapeutic world of folks who are dealing with depression, isolation, anxiety, that often feeling the weight and responsibility of caring for another person, adding something to the plate of someone who is suffering, surprisingly doesn't make depression worse, but it actually lowers levels of depression and anxiety, learning how to take care of another being, or how to invest your energy and your life in something that feels meaningful and empowering. From the healthcare perspective, it's actually becoming a part of the healthcare assessment. We have a physician that has added that to his healthcare assessment and his patients and his patient care and his care plans for those who he sees, and particularly he works with senior adult patients. He asks them as a part of their prescription, where are you going to invest some time and energy into your own health and well-being by volunteering? Cooper points out there's 3 things that if you're going to volunteer that must align with you and your work as a volunteer. And the very first thing is about how that aligns, that you must find a place to volunteer that actually aligns with your passion. In other words, don't volunteer your time somewhere you don't want to be, because it's not going to be great for you or the people that you're volunteering. But find a place that connects to your passion, a place where you can pour your energy, your time, your gifts, your growth as a person, your love that you share. Find a place that really connects with you as an individual. Eric also says that your volunteering must be pure. And I must admit, just like he did by sharing some of the health benefits, that if you choose to volunteer today just because of the health benefits, oh, I'm going to lower my mortality by 20%. That's not really a great reason to volunteer. You're kind of missing the point, he says. It must be pure. In other words, it can't feel forced on you, or you can't be guilted into volunteering. You have to be pure in choosing it and pouring yourself into the work that you choose to do. Now, that may be very counter to our committee work today, that their job is to try to convince you to work on their committee, but it's got to connect with you and your passion and your energy. And I know every person that represents the committee today, including Nancy and organizing the event, would say, find a place that feels pure for you to pour your heart and your love. And then the last is find the right dose of volunteering in your life. If you volunteer too much, it's probably counterproductive to your well-being and anything that you can accomplish. So find the right dose of volunteering, not too little, not too much, which is also hard to do in a congregation, to make sure that if we are using your energy and volunteering your time and energy to this place, make sure that it's the right dose that you are giving to the UUCC or wherever it is that you pour your energy and your love in volunteering. It is recommended about 100 hours a year volunteering is a healthy dose, which is about 2 to 4 hours a week. So I will just tell you, that's one board meeting. So if you're thinking about the board, so sorry, Deb. It's a little running joke I have with Deb there. What's great is we are also learning how powerful and impactful it is for children and teenagers as well to learn how to volunteer in various places, and for that to be a part of their psyche and their spirituality and their work, their tradition as they grow up. She's a student at University Southern Cal right now, I think in her second year there, but Kofu Jalausho talked about her work as a 13-year-old when she organized a huge event for the children in Nigeria, providing food, and gave a beautiful talk and inspirational, motivational speech around how volunteering actually empowers children and teens, and in her mind, combats many of the challenges that children and teenagers face around their own anxiety, around the parents' anxiety of the children's relationship with social media, all of the things that we face as children and teenagers can somewhat be combated by learning how to volunteer and invest their time and energy in places. So this is a holistic family approach that we bring to this work that we do. Why are we talking about it here? Because volunteering is a place of spiritual connection as well. Why are we here? That was the question that Nancy asked to begin our time thinking and focusing on this. What brought you through the door? And I heard some of your sarcasm. The wind brought me through the door. The ushers brought me through the door. What brought you through the door? But the great question for us to ask as we think about the UUCC is, why are we here? Truly, ask ourselves, what are we doing here? This church does not exist to just maintain itself. It has to have a reason and a purpose for existing. And I believe, my opinion, that the UUCC exists to be a conduit for you, each and every one of us, to become more whole persons in our lives. How do we become more whole persons? A lot of that is that the UUCC is a conduit and a hub of a place where you can invest your time, your energy, your love in a place where you feel like you are making a connection. Human beings have a desire for purpose and for meaning in our lives. Not only do we want to make meaning and have an understanding of a lot of life, but we also want our lives to have meaning and purpose. So I encourage you to find a place in our work this afternoon that connects to your passion, to your sense of purpose, and your sense of meaning in your life. When I first became the minister 4 years ago, sorry. I always take a year for the pandemic out, I think. 4 years ago, when I became the minister at the UUCC, I asked our church administrator at the time, very naively, will you send me a list of the committee meetings this week and the activities, the group activities? I would like to attend them and kind of get a feel for what's going on. I just have to say, I'm not going to say I printed that out because the Green Committee, I can see their table from here, so I'm not going to say that. I didn't do that. But if I was downloading a PDF 4 years later, it's still downloading. The list was expansive. And she said, in her great sense of humor, she said, would you like me to put them on your calendar for you? Whew, no. But what it gave me an idea of, for what we are doing here at the UUCC, is we have a lot of work that we do and a lot of energy going in a lot of different directions. And that is absolutely exciting. I share that to say that if you will spend some time today after you get some lunch and walking around, you will find a place to fit in. You will find a place where you can be your passion and live it out and invest who you are as a person in the work that we do. You will find a place where you can learn and develop new skills as a person by pouring your energy and allowing the UUCC to be a hub where you can connect to your passion and your good work. Human beings also need relationship connection, and friendships can come often from the common experience together. At the hospital, we call this the friendships that develop in the waiting room. You get a group of people there that are all there from different walks of life, different family groups, but they have the one thing in common: they're all waiting and waiting and waiting. And in the midst of that, conversations begin, connections begin, and truly, friendships develop that extend past the hospital because they met in that common place of doing work. I truly believe if you will risk yourself doing some work and volunteering your time in the good work of the UUCC and the partners that we have in the community, you will make friends. You will find connection. You will build relationships and partnerships that will lead to greater sense of connection and being. And lastly, human beings want to matter and make a difference. They have no doubt in their minds when they do their work, they want to have no doubt in their minds that their work is making a difference in our world. We can always do much more here at our congregation, but I stand by believing that we are the best agent of change in this city for our community and in our world. Our ability to pour love and energy and work and expertise in so many different directions is a powerful way that we become a hub for doing the good work of the UUCC in our community and helping each of us become more whole, more healthy. We do not just exist to exist. We are a spiritual community that should help people become healthier, more whole versions of themselves, agents of change and transformation, making a difference in our world around us. We're not going to do that with unless volunteers give of their time and energy and good gifts to the work of this place. As a matter of fact, the UUCC would not exist or do anything without volunteers. So on behalf of the UUCC, to all of you who pour your life into the work that extends out of this place, I say thank you. And I do want to share, in closing words, a song that was written by the Reverend Stephen Crump, who was a minister a long time in Louisiana at a congregation for 36 years. He wrote a beautiful poem called Song for the Unsung. And I share this for our volunteers who already have committed so much time to the good work, but also to inspire you to pick up the work and continue on. He writes, "You make the coffee, set up the tables, organizing the cleaning when others have gone home. You know where the brooms and the supplies are kept. You run to the store in the nick of time. You find the great stuff to sell at a fundraiser. You remember to use the right language. You speak passionately with a clear voice and listen with open-mindedness. You consider your tone when you speak. You say you want to be a part of the solution, part of the healing, by hanging in there. You come up with new ideas. You gracefully accept the group choosing someone else's idea. You step up to make the extra contribution. You make welcoming room for others. You acknowledge children and are happy to be around them. You hold a child, you hold a confidence, and you hold a hand. You go the extra mile, contribute the extra dollar, and give the benefit of doubt. You know that church life is all about relationships, and because you know this, your spiritual discipline of forgiveness is always at hand. You, with your presence alone, offer a holy companionship. You accompany others in the dark night of their soul. You do what you do because you can. You often wish you could do more. You labor not for praise or for a song, but for the good and the doing of the work. But today we sing this song of praise for you, the unsung in our church. And our hearts are glad in the singing because we know the many things you do, and we appreciate it so very much.
I invite you to stand as you're willing and able to sing hymn number 354, We Laugh, We Cry.
We dance, we sing our song.
our closing words as you remain standing. As we continue our 30 Days of Love, we hear from the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and your verb agree to serve. You don't have to know the second theory of thermodynamics and physics to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love.
I invite you to join in singing our congregational benediction.
I'd like to thank you for being a part of the service today, and especially our guests, Mary, Renee, and Virginia. Is that right? Thank you for welcoming us in, or letting us welcome you into this place and letting us know who you are. Look forward to a chance to get to meet you and get to let you get to know us better as well. And welcome back, Melody. I know you're back there. So good to hear your voice again and see you as well. Nancy has given you instructions already, so just make your way back as soon as we end our time here. Thank you for being here today.